Hello, everyone. Today, we are about to embark on a truly special journey. A journey to explore some of the greatest harvests on Earth. Every agricultural product we see in our daily lives, from grains of rice, golden corn, and hearty potatoes, to sweet and fragrant fruits, is far more than just food. Behind it lies a long story that begins in vast fields, endures through seasons of sun and rain, and is nurtured by the sweat, hard work, and love of farmers. Endless stretches of golden rice fields, modern corn farms with harvesting machines working in unison, or orchards heavy with ripe fruits. All of these create a vivid picture of human labor and ingenuity. Beyond planting and harvesting, there is an entire system of technology, preservation, and large-scale transportation that allows tons of grains, vegetables, and fruits to reach the tables of billions of families across the world. This is not just the story of a single season, but a testament to the deep connection between humans and nature, between fertile soil and the diligent hands that work it. The journey from seed to harvest is a miraculous process, carrying within it hope, survival, and even the future of humankind. So, let us explore together how these massive harvests are carried out and what we, as those who enjoy the results, can truly see through this grand and breathtaking picture. Potatoes are one of the most important staple foods in the world, ranking only after rice, corn, and wheat. Today, potatoes are cultivated on millions of hectares of farmland, which is about millions of square miles, spread across continents from Europe and North America to Asia. They provide a vital source of starch, vitamin C, potassium, and dietary fiber in the diets of billions of people. The potato harvest usually takes place in late summer or early fall, depending on the climate of each region. At this time, the leaves and stems above the soil turn yellow, signaling that the tubers underground have reached their optimal size and the best quality for harvesting and storage. In modern agriculture, potato harvesting is mostly carried out using specialized machinery. A potato harvester is equipped with digging blades and a conveyor system at the back. As the machine operates, the blades dig deep into the soil, lifting the entire ridge and exposing the tubers beneath. Then, the vibrating conveyor shakes off the soil and roots, leaving the potatoes clean. This process minimizes scratches and damage to the thin skins of the tubers, which is crucial for long-term storage. After the soil is separated, the machine automatically sorts the potatoes by size right in the field. Standard-sized tubers are collected into storage bins, while undersized, damaged, or poor-quality ones are discarded. The entire process runs continuously and efficiently, allowing farmers to harvest tens of tons in just a few hours. On large farms, specialized trucks often move alongside the harvesters, receiving potatoes directly from the conveyors and transporting them straight to storage facilities. This rapid transfer reduces exposure to sunlight and outdoor conditions, which helps maintain quality. Storage after harvest plays a decisive role in preserving the product. Potatoes are usually placed in cold storage at temperatures ranging from 39 to 45 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 4 to 7 degrees Celsius, with humidity maintained at around 90 to 95%. These conditions prevent sprouting, minimize water loss, and keep the tubers fresh for several months. On smaller farms, some farmers still use traditional methods, digging with hoes, shovels, or small tractors. Although this requires more time and effort, it suits limited plots of land and allows for careful selection of tubers on the spot. Today, the process of harvesting and storing potatoes goes beyond simply securing food supplies. It is deeply connected to the global value chain, from local markets to industrial processing in factories that produce potato chips, potato flour, starch, and many other food products. Thanks to the combination of traditional farming experience and modern agricultural technology, potato harvesting has reached a larger, more efficient, and more sustainable scale. This stands as proof of progress in agriculture, where each harvest not only meets domestic demand, but also contributes significantly to the global food supply. Bell peppers, also known as sweet peppers, are a high-value crop in international trade. They come in a variety of colors such as green, red, yellow, and orange. Bell peppers are commonly used in fresh dishes, salads, pizzas, and are also processed into dehydrated powder or frozen products. In recent years, the method of harvesting bell peppers has undergone significant changes. On large-scale farms, robotic harvesters have been introduced to replace much of the manual labor. This system uses high-resolution cameras combined with artificial intelligence. The cameras scan entire rows of plants, analyzing the images to detect ripe peppers based on their color, most often red or yellow. Once identified, a robotic arm automatically moves to the precise position of the fruit. A specialized gripper or cutting tool then detaches the pepper from its stem without damaging the delicate surface. The fruit is placed neatly into a collection tray and transferred onto a conveyor system. Each pepper is handled in just a few seconds, allowing a single robotic arm to harvest thousands of peppers during one working shift. In certain smaller production areas, or for premium quality crops, workers still harvest by hand to ensure more careful selection. When hand-picking, farmers usually leave the stem attached to extend the storage life of the pepper. Immediately after harvesting, bell peppers are sorted on-site by size and color before being moved into cold storage or sent to processing plants. Rapid cooling helps stabilize the temperature and maintain the crisp texture of the skin, ensuring high quality during long-distance transportation. Tomatoes are among the most widely cultivated vegetables in the world, consumed fresh as well as serving as a primary ingredient for the food processing industry. In modern production, robotic harvesting technology is also applied to tomatoes, especially on large-scale farms. Cameras and artificial intelligence systems scan the entire crop, distinguishing ripe red tomatoes from unripe green ones. Once a ripe fruit is identified, the robot guides its arm to the exact position and uses a gripper or cutting blade to harvest it. The tomato is then placed directly into a collection tray on the conveyor system. For larger, thick-skinned tomato varieties, robots can perform the job effectively. However, for cherry tomatoes or premium varieties with thinner skins, manual harvesting remains more common. Workers use scissors or small knives to carefully cut the stems, minimizing cracks or damage to the delicate surface. After harvesting, tomatoes are taken to a preliminary processing area. Here, they are sorted by ripeness, shape, and quality. Those that meet standards are either stored in cold rooms or sent directly to processing plants. Rapid cooling helps lower the core temperature, preserving flavor and extending shelf life. In the food industry, tomatoes are processed into ketchup, juice, canned soups, or dried products for export. Tomato-based products make up a significant share of the global agricultural value chain, providing farmers and processors with a stable source of income. Bananas are one of the most widely consumed tropical fruits in the world, serving both domestic markets and playing a crucial role in global agricultural exports. Countries such as Ecuador, the Philippines, Costa Rica, and Colombia export tens of millions of tons of bananas each year, providing a major supply to large markets in North America, Europe, and Asia. The banana harvest has its own unique process, quite different from many other fruits. Bananas are not picked one by one, but instead harvested as entire bunches to prevent bruising. Each bunch typically weighs from 44 to 110 pounds, which is about 20 to 50 kilograms, and can contain anywhere from several dozen to over 100 bananas. During harvesting, workers usually use sharp knives or specialized cutting blades. One person cuts the stem of the bunch, while another supports its weight to prevent heavy impact. This step requires precise teamwork, because even a small drop or collision can scratch the delicate peel and reduce the fruit's market value. Once cut, the bunches are hung on hooks and moved using a specialized conveyor system that runs throughout the plantation. From there, they are delivered directly to collection areas or preliminary processing facilities. At the processing station, the bunches are separated into smaller hands. Workers wash them thoroughly to remove soil and latex residue from the peel. The bananas are then graded based on size, curvature, peel color, and surface condition. Those meeting export standards are treated with preservation solutions, packed into cardboard boxes, and transferred into cold storage. Rapid cooling stabilizes the temperature at around 55 to 57 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 13 to 14 degrees Celsius, helping the bananas stay fresh and preventing premature ripening during long-distance transport. From ports in South America and Southeast Asia, bananas are loaded into refrigerated containers and shipped to consumer countries worldwide. Besides export, part of the banana crop is also distributed to domestic markets or delivered to processing factories. There, bananas are turned into dried banana chips, banana flour, or used in the food industry for cakes, candies, and beverages. Thanks to strict harvesting and preservation processes, bananas have become one of the few tropical fruits available year-round in most major supermarkets around the world, affirming their importance in global agricultural trade. In major tea-producing countries such as India, Sri Lanka, and China, the harvesting process is carried out primarily by hand. Workers carefully pluck the tender shoots consisting of 2 young leaves and 1 bud. This part contains the highest concentration of aroma and nutrients, which ultimately determines the quality of the final product. Hand-picking allows for precise selection, minimizing the inclusion of mature leaves and dry stems, thereby preserving both the flavor and the commercial value of the tea. After harvesting, the fresh leaves are quickly transported to factories, where they go through stages of withering, rolling, fermentation, drying, and finally, grading. Thanks to this meticulous process, millions of tons of tea, which is millions of metric tons, are produced each year and supplied to markets worldwide, meeting both domestic consumption and export demand. Coffee is one of the most important agricultural products in the world, with annual production exceeding 22 billion pounds, which is about 10 million metric tons, of coffee beans. The 3 leading producers, Brazil, Vietnam, and Colombia, account for more than half of the global supply. The methods of harvesting coffee vary significantly depending on the region and the production goals. In smaller farms or in the production of specialty coffee, farmers usually hand-pick only the ripe red cherries. This selective method ensures consistent quality and preserves the distinctive flavor, but it requires a great deal of labor and time. On large plantations, especially in Brazil, mechanical harvesting techniques are widely used. Specialized machines use vibrating systems that shake entire rows of coffee trees at carefully controlled frequencies. The ripe cherries fall onto nets or conveyors placed beneath the trees and are then collected into storage bins. A single machine can replace the work of dozens of laborers, harvesting areas covering hundreds of acres, which is dozens of hectares, in a short period of time. Immediately after harvesting, coffee cherries are taken to processing facilities. Here, two main methods are applied. Dry processing. The whole cherries are sun-dried or mechanically dried for several days. Then the outer layers are removed to obtain the beans. Wet processing. The cherries are pulped right away, the mucilage is removed through fermentation and washing, and then the beans are dried. The quality of coffee beans depends heavily on the chosen processing method. For example, wet processed coffee often has a cleaner flavor profile with a light acidity, making it suitable for premium varieties. In contrast, dry processed coffee tends to produce a fuller body and a longer aftertaste, qualities appreciated in many markets. After processing, the beans are roasted at different levels, light, medium, or dark. Each roast level brings out unique colors, aromas, and flavors that cater to the preferences of different consumer markets. Finally, the beans are ground and packaged for distribution. From plantations stretching across highlands to modern industrial processing lines, coffee has become an integral part of daily life for billions of people. On average, more than 2 billion cups of coffee are consumed worldwide every single day, highlighting the irreplaceable role of this crop in global trade. Corn is one of the three most important staple crops in the world, alongside rice and wheat. Global corn production exceeds 1.1 billion tons, which is about 1 billion metric tons every year, concentrated mainly in the United States, China, Brazil, and Argentina. The harvesting process for corn depends on the type of corn and its intended use. Field corn, which is harvested for dry kernels, is usually collected once the plants have dried and the cobs have reached full maturity. Specialized harvesters are used to separate the kernels directly in the field. The machines operate in a cycle, cutting the stalks, detaching the ears, removing the husks, and shelling the kernels. The kernels are gathered into storage bins, while the stalks and cobs are shredded and spread back across the field to serve as organic fertilizer or as roughage for livestock. Sweet corn and vegetable corn, on the other hand, are harvested earlier when the kernels are still soft and full of natural sugars. These varieties are harvested using specialized machines that cut the ears and feed them into cleaning and sorting systems. The ears that meet quality standards are quickly transported to processing plants for canning or freezing, preserving both flavor and nutritional value. Corn is not only a direct source of food for humans, but also plays a central role in animal feed, food processing industries, and the production of biofuel ethanol. For this reason, mechanization in harvesting has played a vital role in ensuring a stable global supply. Wheat is the cereal crop with the largest cultivated area in the world, with an annual production of more than 770 million tons, which is about 700 million metric tons. It is the primary source for flour, bread, and noodles, essential foods in the diets of billions of people. The wheat harvest relies mainly on combine harvesters, machines designed to perform multiple tasks in a single operation. As they move across the fields, the cutting blades at the front slice the stalks close to the ground. The threshing system immediately separates the grains from the wheat heads. Then, A cleaning system removes straw and impurities, leaving only clean wheat kernels that are stored in grain tanks. The straw is usually expelled at the back, where it can be used as livestock feed or as raw material for the paper industry and for bio-based materials. In major producing countries such as Russia, the United States, Canada, and Australia, high-capacity combine harvesters can cover hundreds of acres, which is hundreds of hectares, in just a single day. This ensures that production is large enough to supply domestic markets as well as exports. Wheat is not just a staple crop, but also a foundation of global food security. Modern harvesting methods have reduced losses, improved efficiency, and ensured a steady supply of flour to meet the growing demands of both the food industry and global consumers. Coconut is one of the most important tropical crops in the world, closely tied to the economic and social life of many countries across Asia and Latin America. Each year, global production exceeds 66 million tons, which is about 60 million metric tons, concentrated mainly in Indonesia, the Philippines, India, Sri Lanka, Vietnam, and Mexico. Coconuts provide fresh water, edible flesh, and coconut oil, while also serving as raw material for the food, cosmetics, pharmaceutical, and even bioenergy industries. Harvesting coconuts presents unique challenges because the trees grow between 33 and 80 feet tall, or about 10 to 25 meters, making the fruits difficult to reach. In many rural areas, traditional climbing is still common. Farmers use ropes or safety belts wrapped around the trunk to climb up to the fruit clusters, cutting them down with sharp machetes. This method requires significant strength, is labor-intensive, and carries a high risk of accidents. To improve safety and efficiency, some countries have adopted automatic coconut climbing machines. These devices use clamp rings or caterpillar tracks to grip the trunk and move upward with an electric motor. Once at the fruit cluster, a cutting arm is activated to detach the coconuts. This approach increases productivity while reducing risks for workers. In certain regions of Thailand, trained monkeys have also been used to harvest coconuts. They are taught to twist the fruits until the stems break, letting the coconuts drop to the ground. While this practice was once effective, it has raised animal welfare concerns and is gradually being replaced by mechanical solutions. After harvesting, coconuts are collected and transported to processing points. Sorting plays a key role in determining their use. Young green coconuts are stored in cool facilities to be sold fresh or exported. Mature coconuts are husked and cleaned, then prepared for processing into coconut flesh, coconut milk, and coconut oil. A significant portion is sent to factories to produce high-value byproducts, such as activated carbon from shells and coir fiber for agriculture and industrial materials. Post-harvest preservation is essential for export quality. With heat treatments, sterilization, and cold storage, coconuts can remain fresh for several weeks, long enough to be shipped thousands of miles to major markets in Europe, the United States, and Japan. Harvesting coconuts is therefore much more than simply cutting fruit from tall trees. It is a process that combines traditional techniques with modern technology, manual labor with mechanization. Each coconut cluster goes through a series of steps to secure both nutritional value and commercial potential. This process has helped coconuts become one of the most influential industrial crops, contributing significantly to the livelihoods and economies of hundreds of millions of people worldwide. Cashew trees are a tropical industrial crop, widely cultivated in many Southeast Asian countries, such as India, Indonesia, Cambodia, and Thailand. The hot and humid climate of this region provides ideal growing conditions, ensuring stable yields. Cashew nuts have long been one of the most valuable nuts in global trade, consumed heavily in domestic markets, as well as exported to Europe, the United States, and the Middle East. The harvesting process of cashews is quite different from many other crops. When the cashew apple ripens, the nut attached to its base naturally falls to the ground. Farmers collect the nuts directly from the soil rather than picking them from the tree. This task must be done daily during the harvest season to prevent the nuts from becoming moldy or contaminated. Once collected, fresh cashew nuts must be dried or roasted to reduce their moisture content. This prevents microbial growth and extends storage life. Traditionally, the nuts are sun-dried for several days, while large-scale farms now use industrial dryers that save time and ensure more consistent quality. The next step is shelling, which is both crucial and challenging. The outer shell contains cashew nutshell liquid, or CNSL, a corrosive substance that can burn the skin. To make shelling safer, the nuts are usually steamed or lightly roasted to soften the shell before extraction. In modern processing facilities, specialized shelling machines are used to increase efficiency and reduce risks for workers. Once removed, the cashew kernels are carefully sorted according to size and quality. Whole, unbroken nuts usually command a higher commercial value compared to smaller or broken pieces. The kernels are then roasted, sometimes seasoned with salt or spices, before being packaged for sale. Beyond snack nuts, cashews are also processed into cashew butter, cashew milk, and a wide variety of food products. An important aspect of the cashew industry in Southeast Asia is the value chain that extends beyond the edible kernel. The shells and byproducts are also utilized. Cashew nutshell liquid, for instance, is used in the production of paints, coatings, industrial chemicals, and insulating materials. This not only increases the economic value of the crop, but also reduces waste. Every year, Southeast Asian countries contribute a large share of global cashew nut production. The combination of traditional harvesting methods, which still rely heavily on manual labor, and the increasing adoption of mechanization and automation in processing has enabled the cashew industry to maintain its competitiveness on the international market. From gathering fallen nuts under the trees to complex industrial processing, the journey of the cashew nut involves a chain of careful and precise steps. It is this process that has made cashews one of the most strategic agricultural commodities, playing a vital role in the agricultural economies of many Southeast Asian nations. Rice is the most important staple crop in Asia, which produces more than 90% of the world's total supply and serves as the primary source of livelihood for billions of people. During harvest season, golden rice fields stretch across thousands of hectares, marking the most crucial stage of the agricultural production cycle. In the past, farmers harvested rice using sickles or by hand, a task that required enormous labor and time. Today, however, combine harvesters have become the dominant tool. With a single operation, the machine performs 3 steps at once: cutting the rice plants, threshing the grains, and separating out the straw. This increases efficiency by 8 to 10 times compared to manual labor, greatly reducing the workload and shortening harvest time. Once separated, the rice grains are dried either by sunlight or industrial dryers to reduce the moisture content to a safe level, usually below 14%. This step is critical to prevent mold, extend storage life, and preserve grain quality. In many large-scale rice-growing regions, industrial drying systems are used instead of traditional sun drying, allowing precise control over both temperature and humidity. After drying, the rice is sent to milling facilities. The milling process involves several stages: removing the husk, stripping away the bran layer, and polishing the grains to produce white rice. Depending on market demand, rice may be left as brown rice with the bran layer intact, or milled further into long grain, short grain, or fragrant specialty white rice. Once processed, rice is packaged and distributed. Part of it is consumed domestically, while a significant portion is exported worldwide. Countries such as Thailand, Vietnam, India, and Cambodia are currently leading exporters, contributing tens of millions of tons annually to global trade. Beyond its commercial value, rice production and processing are directly tied to global food security. The adoption of mechanization and advances in post-harvest technology help reduce losses, improve quality, and ensure a sustainable supply for a growing population. From the field to the dining table, the journey of rice is the result of both the hard work of farmers and the support of modern technology. This combination has cemented the strategic role of rice in agriculture across Asia and the entire world. Sugarcane is a sweet industrial crop widely cultivated in Brazil, India, Thailand, and many countries across Southeast Asia. It is the primary raw material for producing sugar, molasses, and bioethanol. In the past, farmers harvested sugarcane manually with machetes, a labor-intensive task that demanded both time and strength. Today, in large-scale plantations, automated sugarcane harvesters have replaced most of this manual work. These machines use base cutters to slice the stalks close to the ground, while rotating blades strip away the dry leaves and cut the stalks into short segments. The chopped cane is lifted onto a conveyor belt and transferred directly into transport trucks bound for processing plants. One of the greatest advantages of mechanized harvesting is its speed and efficiency. A single harvester can replace the work of hundreds of laborers, operating continuously day and night. This reduces production costs and ensures a steady supply of raw material for the sugar industry. At the factory, the harvested cane is crushed to extract juice, which is then refined into white sugar, raw sugar, or molasses. The leftover fiber, known as bagasse, is reused as fuel, transformed into paper, or recycled into bio-based materials. In particular, fermented cane juice is a vital feedstock for bioethanol production, helping reduce dependence on fossil fuels. From endless rice fields to orchards heavy with fruit, from the sweat of farmers to the power of modern technology, together they create the Great Harvest of 2025, a magnificent portrait of global agriculture. Every grain of rice, every cup of coffee, and every piece of fresh fruit on our tables today is not just food. It is the result of knowledge, creativity, and tireless human effort. Now is the time for us to take action. Honor the hard work of farmers. Choose clean and sustainable produce. Join hands in building a greener agriculture for future generations. Because what we do today is the seed for tomorrow's harvest. If you found this video meaningful, please share it and give it a like, so more people can be inspired by the spirit of sustainable agriculture.